why I'm a few minutes late is that my credit card just got stolen. Or I forgot while I was walking that I booked a $1,300 hotel in Turkey, despite not having plans to go to Turkey, despite my other credit card also getting discounts at that same hotel chain.
I mean, it happens. Sometimes you just forget about your $1,300 hotel purchase.
Yeah. Or, I don't know if you happen to also be watching in the background the World Cup, but Costa Rica just scored a goal against Japan, and I've gone in front. And someone today, there was a post online of a betting agency that they took a bet. Let me find it. Now, this person's going to wish that they didn't do this. $181,482. I don't know why.
A random number, yeah.
Yeah. At $1.50 on Japan to beat Costa Rica. And I think they're in like the 80th minute now. And Costa Rica's just gone 1-0 up.
Oh, that's going to sting. It's going to sting.
Especially after Japan, like a couple minutes ago, were going running into goal, and the guy took a yellow card that right on the edge of the box. It could have argued could have been red, and then it could have also. I mean, there's like centimeters in it. Like he does it inside the box, it's a penalty. The other play is a slightly different spot, then it's a red, etc.
Okay. Yeah.
Instead, Japan blow their free kick on the edge of the box. And then in a couple minutes later, Costa Rica are scoring.
And some dude just shit himself because his bet is going to go pretty badly by the looks of it.
Yeah, that would be enraging.
Yes, I guess we're not seeing Marcus for a while.
Oh no. We today Marcus came over and brought his kid with Andrew, and the kid was rolling the dice for what we would bet on.
Nice.
He went 25 in a row, losing. And then there was one where he lost by like the smallest margin at 68-1. So despite losing the previous 25 or whatever at that point, if it had won, it would have actually been well in front. And then but like, and actually like his kid was not enjoying it because they're all like, can you pick us a winner for once? And it was quite entertaining.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would have been fun. How do you go 25 in a row without picking a winner? I mean,
that's what we were talking about. Like the law of averages, like mixed from like just any random horse because it was any number, so it could be favorites to underdogs to whatever. Oh, and then, there was one race where there was a horse he took at 126-1, and we're like, who on earth would pick this? And then the commentator had it like ranked in their selections, but it still ran nowhere. So
it ran nowhere. Yeah. Oh well.
Somehow that got onto the idea of you know how you can like everywhere now there's a big thing of no alcohol beer.
Yeah.
So it's technically you could give kids no alcohol beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So imagine babysitting someone's kid and then giving them a slab of non-alcoholic beer and just saying, well, it's allowed, it's not alcohol.
I mean, I don't see the problem with it really. You got to get them used to the ritual early, you know.
In fact, I think that non-alcoholic beer should now be listed on restaurant menus under the kids section.
I think that's what it's for. I don't understand it otherwise. I don't see the point of like 0% Guinness. What the?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna drink. Like,
yeah. You know, San Miguel apple. That's what everyone's looking for. It's got alcohol in it.
And I refuse to drink non-alcoholic beer until they bring out San Mig apple with zero beer.
I just refuse to drink 0% alcohol. I honestly don't understand it. It's one of those things that the world has gone like, here's beer. That's the best part.
Yeah.
What?
I'm disappointed by the lack of non-alcoholic absinthe.
Yeah, here, let's do some non-alcoholic shots. Don't you just fuck off?
We've had this for quite some time. It's called water.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't new at all. This is just water with some coloring in it.
It's so big. Like, I can't understand how it is everywhere. Like, because who is drinking? I've never met anyone ever who's like, I can't wait to have a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, and it's not like non-alcoholic beer is new. That's been around. It's just everyone knew it was shit, so nobody was drinking it, like, ever. And then all of a sudden, it's the big thing. I don't know. A friend of mine was like,
it's just like, why though?
Came out, was like, I can't wait to try it. Like, why? It's just gonna taste like Heineken, but it's gonna have no alcohol in it. Who cares?
Yeah, but I get why a lot of people would have one to try it, but like after you try that one, it's just like, what is the point of this? Like,
yeah. I 100% agree. What is the point of it? Somebody please explain it to me, because I don't get it.
Like, it's like massages without happy endings. Like, what is the point?
Who in their right mind? Like that.
Realistically, there is an element of that, but
it's like hiring a hooker just for a chat. I mean, come on. You know, she'll talk to you anyway, but you know.
I did meet someone who worked as a receptionist who said that they had a person who would go there every week, 6 hours, order a pizza, and just sit in the bed and eat the pizza with them.
All right. Well, this is a line of business I want to get into. Eating pizza, I'm cool with. So if somebody could hook me up and be like, Dave, we got your new career eating pizza in hotels with people. I'm good.
In bed.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to stay in your bed for 6 hours, probably at an expensive price too.
I mean, it's fine. I'm getting pizza out of this. I'm good with it. It's cool. Anyways, yeah. So all in all, I think people need to just let me know about these opportunities when they arise. That's my new dream in life, is eat pizza for a living.
Eat pizza and drink non-alcoholic beers.
No, I refuse the non-alcoholic beer.
The only real reason I could think of is if you wanted to pretend that you were drinking. If in some unique scenario where you want to appear to be drinking, but also don't want to get drunk.
Like if you're trying to cheat at cards or something.
Yeah, well, something of that obscure nature where you're like, yeah, I want to take advantage of everyone I know and get them all drunk, and then I won't be drunk, and then we're going to gamble on whatever, or something along these lines.
Still lose. I can't imagine like some dude out in a bar somewhere and he's like drinking zero alcoholic beer, whatever it is. And he's.
Well, I don't even think you can get it in bars. Like, I don't think they have it in bars. It's like, it's just.
They have it on tap in bars here.
Really?
You can get 0% Heineken or 0% Guinness, I think, in most bars now.
Oh, wow.
I was in a bar a couple of weeks ago and got a pint of Guinness, and they served it to me in a glass that said 0%. And I was like, you better take that back. But he was like, no, it's the only glass I had. I was like, fucking.
Well, that's the game. You specifically order a full strength in a non-alcoholic, or an non-alcoholic in a full strength, and mess with people.
Just make sure it's in a real glass, like a real Guinness glass, please. Don't want anyone to know.
Yeah, I mean, outside of some weird scenario like that, I don't understand. But yeah, I don't think here they actually have it, or anywhere I've really seen where they actually sell it in restaurants or stores or bars. It's only like in the supermarket they'll have it, but or you see it advertised everywhere like it's the biggest thing ever. But
yeah.
or the other benefit of it is you buy a box of non-alcoholic beer, right? You put a hole in each one, tip it out, then you pour alcoholic beer into it, and then somehow reseal it, and then drink it in other places where you're not allowed to bring alcohol in.
That works. I mean, you could have brought a whole load of it to the World Cup with into the stadium.
Look at me. I'm drinking non-alcoholic.
This is basically a soft drink.
Think of how much you could sell it for inside the stadium. I reckon you could almost... These are non-alcoholic beers.
Does anybody want a non-alcoholic beer?
It's only $50.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool.
I mean, I reckon you could get away with it.
Probably. I mean, it sounds like. I mean, what are they going to do? Confiscate your non-alcoholic beer? Which is
if you never say anything, and but they would have to confiscate it and then get it tested to prove that there was alcohol in it.
I feel like that's going to take longer than the game.
Yeah. By the time they confiscate it and want to test it, I'm out of the country. Yeah,
exactly.
I won't be sticking around in Qatar to wait for my non-alcoholic beer to be tested.
Does they come back and be like, "Hi, see, you can't arrest me. There's nothing in it."
I wonder what if in like countries where you're not supposed to drink or whatever. Like, I don't know all the rules of what you wear and what you are allowed to drink in Qatar, but there are countries where you're not allowed to drink. So therefore, they're not worrying about people drink driving. So therefore, if you did have your own stash of alcohol, couldn't you easily just get shit-faced and then drive? Because they wouldn't, it's not like they're going to be like trying to catch people out or anything. So
yeah, they'd probably have less breathalyzer tests on hand just in case they come across a drunk driver. But I mean, yeah, probably you would get away with it. Like, have a couple of beers, head down to the I don't know, local entertainment area of the city.
Or are they breathalyzing everyone, even if they're not driving, and therefore it does the opposite?
That's a good question. I know.
We have to go and experiment.
We do. Something I just remembered about the non-alcoholic beer stuff. In the supermarkets here, because they have like specific times when you're allowed to buy alcohol, because otherwise Irish people just buy it all the fucking time. So there's like a certain time in the morning. I think it's like 11 o'clock, or maybe it's 10:30, where alcohol sales open, and like 10:30 at night or something when they close in the supermarkets. But you cannot buy alcohol-free beer until the alcohol sales start.
Oh, really?
So that's weird.
Well, here they get around it by it's a part of the same store, but it's a separate store where the alcohol is. So the alcohol part is closed.
Yeah.
At different times. But then like the actual supermarket has the non-alcoholic beer, and again, there's a ton of it. And I don't see what the demand is for it, but it's there.
Yeah. Maybe it's loads of people making YouTube videos pretending their kids are drinking. But they're being slightly responsible by giving them non-alcoholic stuff rather than alcoholic beer. I don't know.
Yeah. I do think it's a good video to have like you babysit and then like have a couple bottles next to the kid when the parents come home, and
just have the kids sitting there, it's like kind of out of it. Yeah, sounds like fun. And hence, I will never be made babysit ever again.
Well, yeah, if you ever get forced to babysit, the easiest way out of it. You
Yeah,
give the
100%.
kid non-alcoholic beer. It's both responsible and irresponsible at the same time.
Exactly. That's how we live our life. So, mostly on the irresponsible side, but still, it's all fun and games.
Yeah, I wonder, are police allowed to drink non-alcoholic beers?
Ooh, I mean, technically, it's not an alcoholic drink, so yeah, they should be able to.
So therefore, you could go offer cops beers.
Yeah.
If you get pulled over for drink driving and you offer a cop a non-alcoholic beer, I feel like it's the perfect way to get around it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's.
Let's not worry about whether I've been drinking. How about you start drinking?
Yeah. It's an interesting idea.
And if you're not allowed to bring on a plane you can bring alcohol, but you're not allowed to drink your own alcohol.
Sure.
Which actually recently they made an announcement of that like on a plane that you're not allowed to. I can't remember why or where, but it was like in one of the recent flights, they actually made an announcement. You're not allowed to consume your own alcohol in the plane. But yeah, you can therefore consume your own non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, hey, lots of people bring bottles of water and Coke and stuff like that onto the plane, so why not?
Although you're not allowed to even bring that in Australia.
Really?
Flights coming to Australia, they literally go through bags. There's some weird law where they literally go through the bags and look for it, for any type of liquid. So you can't buy a bottle of water inside the airport at $7 a tiny bottle, and bring it on the plane.
Wow.
And I got stung with that once, where the thing is they will sell it to you next to the thing too. But because it's some weird Australian specific law where once you're inside the airport and then you're going to the gate of the plane, quite often either at the gate, they'll have to like block off the gate and then check people before they get on the plane. Or once you go through and they scan your boarding pass, then there's people waiting to then go through your bag to check that you don't bring liquids on the plane. So once, I bought it right next to the thing. And it was like a long flight. So I'd bought like a 1 liter bottle at whatever the price was going to be.
Yeah.
But like, because it's annoying to always have to ask them or whatever. And it's just easier to have your own and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
But so then like they're like, oh, you have to drink it now.
I was wondering why when I was leaving Australia, I had to drink so much whiskey on the plane. That's what happened.
It wasn't my fault. They forced me.
Yeah, I couldn't bring water with me, and they had.
The lounge one in Korea, they had a beer tap, and there was a guy who was like basically just standing at the tap. So that you did yourself. So there was a guy just standing at the tap, filling his own beer. I mean, he could have filled 5 cups and just brought it to the table and drank it himself, and there's no one checking or caring. But no,
exactly.
he
Well, there you go. I mean, that's one way. And
actually, on that plane, the guy in front of me asked for, like, the woman came by and she said, do you want any, she specifically said, like, do you want soft drink or juice? And the guy's like, oh, beer. And the woman's like, oh, no, sorry. On the plane over, we had a full flight and they drank it all.
Wow.
Which is a pretty dodgy excuse, to be honest.
Seems like you restocked the plane when you got to the airport.
So what they're doing is the return flight. So this was like it was like Philippine Airlines flying, must have been, wait, no, that wouldn't even make sense. Actually, it doesn't make sense. Because they should have, if they left Manila, which is where they should have stocked up. Yeah, okay, they would have, So they've had 2 flights. So they've flown from Manila to Korea.
Yeah.
No, but that would have been us. So again, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's a dodgy excuse. Like they know how many beers they need on a flight. I don't know.
I don't think it's an excuse to say that we were full, so therefore,
no,
the previous plane.
I'm not buying that. I'm like, just go get me some fucking beer. What?
Also, especially when they like include it, it's when they specifically say on your ticket or whatever that it's included. Like then it's dodgy to say that we don't have it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not good when they do that. So
it's just not right.
Yeah. It's not. It's kind of offensive to my culture. So
it would be fun to be like, do you understand I'm Irish? This is racist.
Sorry, did you just say no for giving me a beer? Let me speak to your manager right away.
I feel like career is up there as well. So I mean, it is. And it was the way the guy was Korean. He was kind of acting that way of like in shock that they would not have it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if somebody told me that on a plane, I'd be like, well, that's weird. Really believe you, but what can I do? You'll get me kicked off the plane.
Meanwhile, the cabin crew probably have it themselves out the back. And
as soon as I see one other person with a beer on the plane, which I know will happen, I'm going to just, get myself in trouble. So,
but yeah, no, I don't think they had any. So I don't think anyone had it. So
that's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah.
But that previous flight, or it's props to the previous flight for drinking 2 plane loads worth of alcohol.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was like a plane full of Irish people going to.
That's the prank. You have like a plane full of.
Jeez,
like as soon as they get down the end of the aisle, everyone's like ding, 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 ding. I'll have another beer.
It would be a very long flight if you told a flight of Irish people, sorry, there is no beer. That's not going to happen. So.
How many people can get cut off on the one plane?
Yeah.
That would be a fun prank to have like you buy 100 seats on one commercial flight and then every single person drinks the entire flight.
It would. It'd be fun. We like to take full advantage of those special all-you-can-drink deals. So I think it would be a fun experience.
This ticket here says it includes alcoholic beverages, so I'll be drinking alcoholic beverages.
Just bring them, keep them coming.
It'd be a lot easier if you just kept bringing them and I didn't have to hit this button.
Yeah, just while they're there, press the button. Another beer, please.
They take one step and you're like, ding.
Oh, how to get banned off most airlines. Oh, man.
It would be fun to see.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I've been close to being cut off once where they were like getting frustrated with bringing it. There was another time where I remember specifically traveling for work and I had a suit and I'd taken the suit jacket off and put it down at my feet. And I did drop a can of beer on the suit jacket.
Nice.
But I believe I like cleaned it up quickly. But yeah. I mean, I had a person spill their wine on me once that the airline, and they told him that like we can't keep serving you alcohol.
Oh wow. I'd be like, it was the turbulence, not me. I'm not drunk with turbulence. We didn't hit turbulence, sir. Yeah, you fucking did.
We haven't taken off yet.
Oh man.
But I was thinking also it would be funny to bring like the right kind of person at one of those lounges where they just sit there at that tap and just keep pouring it and drinking it.
Just drag some stools over from another area and just sit right in front of it. People come over, be like, "Yeah, what do you want? we got here. This is our beer tap."
Or the ones in London, the most fancy one I've ever seen is the one in London where it's like all chandeliers and stuff, and they have like all fancy champagne. So you bring in some. And that is the only place where when I asked, "Oh, is this the lounge?" and the woman's like, "I don't think so." And then she checked the ticket. And she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, we have to."
Yeah. I'm used to that experience. Like, you don't belong here. I do though. I paid for it. So.
Well, that was when I was like traveling so much, so I didn't pay for it. But and I was in like a tracksuit, like clearly not necessarily supposed to be there, but because I traveled so much, I qualified to get in there at that point. And yeah, the woman was like, and like, because I asked, "Oh, is this the right place?" And her response was, "I don't think so." And then she looked at the ticket and she's like, "Oh, okay, well, yes, it is."
Yeah. I was in a lounge in New York once, and I got into the lounge. Everything was fine, and then I left to like buy something in the duty free or something, and I don't know what I was thinking. I just walked straight back up in through the door, back to where I was seating, and the like security guards were following me. And they were like, "Sir." I was like, "What's wrong?" And I'd had a couple of drinks, so I was like, "What do you want? Like, you're not supposed to be here. You can't just walk." I was like, "I am supposed to be here. What's your problem?" And eventually they sorted it out, but it was like, all security guards and super paranoid because I wasn't supposed to be there. I was like, "It's fine. I'm just an Irish dude going to drink all your free beer. Don't worry about it."
I came to make my money's worth, and
it's part of my ticket. I'm gonna enjoy it. So, I'm pretty sure they had somebody watching me the whole time I was there as well.
Oh,
after
really?
like someone sitting nearby just to make sure I don't know what, because all I did was watch a movie on my iPad and wait for my flight and drink some beers. But hey,
Got to make the most of those lounges.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were giving me non-alcoholic beer as well. I mean, maybe that's one use for this. Like, you think someone's getting a little bit too plastered, be like, "All right, here's your beer," but it's non-alcoholic, and they're like, "Yeah, getting more and more beers," but they're not.
I wonder if you can actually taste the difference.
Good question. I don't know. It's like we'll never find out.
You'd have to buy one to find out.
You could ask someone, just stand by it and like, "Excuse me, can you taste the difference?" You could try it. Nah.
Oh God, no. I wouldn't want to poison myself.
I hope they do one of those those stands they do at the supermarket where like they give out the samples of food and stuff. I hope they do one of those for the alcohol-free beer. Just knock over the stand and be like, "This is against my religion." The fuck do you guys think you are?
This is against my religion. Undo this. Blasphemy.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, what's the most effort you've ever put into a date?
This right now. Just talking about beers and flights.
I drank a non-alcoholic beer once.
Yeah, what was that all about? I mean, because I've flown pretty far for a date once, but that's because of a certain relationship. So that would be the most effort I've put into it. Flying to California from here, that was literally the effort. So yeah.
Well, a guy says that it's unfair that guys have to put in all the effort while women do none of it. He says that he finds it unfair that guys have to almost do everything. Are we putting the juicy part about me complaining about girls' lack of efforts in dates in the third last paragraph? Which, if you're writing a thing, just go to that. Don't worry. We don't need all your background. If you think girls put in a lot more effort than guys, list the things in the comments as well. We'd love to hear about those. Or you could just not say that and just say,
yeah.
He says, most of the time it goes 2 to 3 dates and some don't even go beyond one. The worst ones are those that you spend weeks or months on the app and never meet in real life. I love it when they find something stupid to stop dating me, like my salary or my choice in music.
Body odor, my looks,
my non-alcoholic beer addiction,
things, all the things. They're always picking on things that they, don't want. I have a friend, I will say, use the word friend loosely, who he thinks like basically all women are against him, and that's why they won't date him, or that's why they, like, when they do date him, they don't want a second date. And it's like, no, dude, it's right. Just because you're an obnoxious fucker to people all the time. So it sounds a little bit to me like this guy has a problem and nobody has told him, hey, this is why people don't want to date you more than once. And they give you some stupid excuse because you're clearly the kind who will freak out and be like, but I'm fucking Brian O'Shaughnessy. I'm so great.
That's well, he says that he's not rich, but he could be the next Elon Musk in the future.
That's his problem right there. saying shit like that is like just a big red flag. I could be the next Elon Musk, but
it does kind of. It is ironic when people complain about that kind of stuff, and you're like, well, in one paragraph or half a paragraph, I can see why people hate you. Oh, yes, if I was a girl and I wanted sex after marriage, my wish is to be respected and I'm apparently holy. If I have the same request as a guy, I am a loser. Love the double standard, 3 exclamation marks. I don't even understand what he's talking about or complaining about. And I think it's pretty obvious why people don't. People ghost him and...
So what we've got here is a guy who can't get laid and is blaming the ladies.
Well, he only rejects girls who are rude, manipulative, or think they are made of gold, unlike everyone else.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna put it out there. I feel like the guy is the problem. He's writing an article about this. This is not a good look on you, dude. Whoever you may be.
Bloody long article, and I have to count backwards to find the third last paragraph so we can
I didn't sign my name on this one, did I? I didn't.
This is Dave.
Oh no. Okay, there's loads of Daves. Could be one of the others. Anyway.
The only thing is that since I pay attention to their profile, I might customize it to them. We also talk about the things, literally the same darn things, deal breakers, interests, etc. Same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, in brackets, approaches affinity.
It sounds a bit boring.
It says, as I mentioned, I am not Chris Evans, but I do groom myself as best I can. Most girls would come to dates in a decent outfit. I love it when girls come as if they just woke up from their bed and show how much they care about the date. I find the lack of effort from girls extremely annoying. Some come to dates not remembering my profile. If the conversation is dry, I have to be the one who has to keep it lively and prevent it from turning awkward. Most girls don't even try anything. They get free meal on the first date. They don't have to plan dates. They can give the uninterested face and it is fine. If I do it, then it is a sin.
It's actually not a sin. It's nowhere in the Bible does it say if you were uninterested in your date, fuck you, you're going to hell. It doesn't say that.
Actually, no, it is. That's page 36.
Fucking skip that one. Oh, well.
Out of all the girls I've dated, only 3, that is right, only 3 girls have seemed to put in effort. Well, okay. We don't know how many you've dated, so that could be all of them, or it could be...
It seems like this guy is a terrible date. Like, he just brings girls out and be like, what have you got to say for yourself?
That's the trick. You bring them on a date, you argue about how much it costs and how much they're paying towards it.
I brought you to this fine restaurant. Now eat your fucking Big Mac. Tell me what's wrong with you.
I'm going to need you to pay for half of it. And you ordered extra pickles, so that's on you.
We got 6 nuggets here. You can only eat 3 of them. Through your mind.
There's 247 chips in the average large chips. I paid, so I'm going to actually have to have an extra one. So that leaves half of 246 for you. So you got 123 chips. Make the most of them and count them all slowly. Don't just eat the big ones. It needs to be an even proportion of potato between the both.
Yeah.
And the top ones are more salty, so you're gonna have half from the top and half from the bottom. Now, paragraph 3 of my profile said what?
That's the thing on a dating profile. Was he like written out his life story? Like, does he think people are reading his profile? Is that what he thinks? Because
that would almost be a fun prank to like create a dating profile, go on a date, and then when they turn up, you have like a clipboard and be like, okay, now paragraph 4 of my dating profile said, I enjoy what?
Yeah, exactly. That would be fun. Right, now we're doing a test. Your exam, just to see if you're a good date or not. How much preparation have you put into this date?
Yeah, I need to know how much. Now, how many hours did you take to get ready?
Yeah, I need to sniff your pits. Just if they're fresh.
What conversation starters have you prepared for tonight's occasion?
Yeah. So many questions. I feel like this dude has unrealistic expectations like that. Like someone's gonna read his shitty profile and
memorize it.
Yeah, and go through all his pictures and be like, "Oh my God, that looks like you were in Machu Picchu, and when was that? Because that was amazing. Now tell me all about it." Like nobody gives a fuck, dude. You're just there to see if they want to hang out with you more or if they want to fuck you, and that's it. It's not about reading your shitty profile. So
it is. I've hidden a secret message in photo 3, and you're going to have to tell me what was in the bottom right corner. Go.
I know, some old dude's ball bag probably, but
how did you know?
I know you so well. I read all your profiles. Yeah, it's weird that you would have those expectations, but I generally find if people who are complaining that it's women's fault, it's usually their fault. So
Well, even though he's written a 20 paragraph thing, he does end it with, honestly, I don't mind putting in the effort. It is fun to do some of the things. If nothing else, the least I expect is for the girl to put in effort into the conversation, and as a plus, remember something about me from my profile or our chats. The problem I have is despite putting all the effort, it keeps failing for stupid reasons. Guys deserve to be respected too, by the way.
Wow. Hashtag what he said. It's funny because I think a lot of other dudes get what he's talking about, that so-called respect, because they put in the right kind of effort and are not expecting things like somebody to read his 65 paragraph profile. So yeah, I think this is clearly a personal problem this guy has. Maybe he just needs to change his deodorant or something from whatever he was using when he was 15 to like a grown-up one. Or something, because it seems like also like change your attitude, because you clearly have, and women are the problem idea, which is never healthy. So it's just some tips for the guy. Also, he's probably gay, so he should start dating dudes because he thinks dudes are so great. So there you go.
Or he could get married, rent an apartment, and then suspect the landlord is sniffing the wife's panties.
I mean, that's not where I expected that to go, but yeah. That could work too.
Well, there's going to be a quiz at the end of this podcast to make sure you've paid attention to everything.
All right. I average a solid D, so we should be fine.
All right, go. Minute 5, we spoke about what?
Tits. No, beer. Tits or beer. One of them.
Well, it was beer, so I guess you're right. I assume.
Yeah, probably.
It says me and my wife have been staying in a rental unit. We're currently staying with a couple in their 40s as the landlord. Both of their jobs are flexible working hours. My wife has recently taken up studies sponsored by a company, so she's at home most of the time if she's not having lessons. The husband would occasionally ask my wife if he wants to buy anything or needs him to help get anything whenever he's going out. We thought that this was just friendly and was grateful that he was looking out for us. Things started to get weird when he started to invite himself to our room and started chatting with my wife when there were only two of them around. He would talk about his relationship issues with his wife and then ask my wife if she has any issues with me. Strangely enough, we do not observe that they have any tension towards each other in their daily lives. As such, I'm not sure if he's finding an excuse to get close to my wife. He would stay in the room until my wife had to tell him politely to leave. Things got really creepy the past week. Sometimes we would hang our clothes and towels on bamboo and hang them out to dry. Being a bit of an OCD, my wife would always hang her clothes in a specific way. There were times she would also place her worn socks in her shoes at the shoe rack. She had told me for the past week she suspected the husband had taken her clothes and socks and placed it back thereafter, as it is not how she would arrange her things. So God knows what he had done with her clothes and socks. My wife is so paranoid now that she locks her room whenever I'm out, and I've been calling her every 2 hours while at work to check if everything is okay. We also kept our things, including our shoes, inside our room and have to resort to using hairdryer and fan to dry out our clothes. We paid for 3 months deposit, but we only stayed for 2 months so far. So leaving would mean we would have to forfeit our deposit, but we were being forced to leave under such circumstances, so we felt that we should be getting our remaining 1 month deposit back. However, to do it, things would definitely get ugly and we would have to tell them our suspicions, and we would suspect her husband and what we'd suspect her husband had been doing. The wife has been very nice to us, and we wouldn't really want to end it this way, and we don't really want to harm their relationship in the end, as after all, we do not have any proof of what has happened.
Well, as someone who is in their 40s who may or may not have people staying with them, this is a very interesting story here. Which we will talk about later. No, not at all. I feel like, I think you should just leave. That's what I think you should do.
I think that the guy should start wearing her panties. Deliberately leave them out there, extra soiled. Give the guy something to enjoy himself.
You know, he's probably at that stage in life where he needs a little pick-me-up, and you clearly know what it would be. So help him out. Help a dude out. Pair of panties. Not the end of the world. So
her panties worn by the guy. Yeah. Extra stank up.
I mean, like,
find a way to accidentally reveal that is what was happening.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, set up some cameras or shit, and make a movie together. That's what I think you should do. But I mean, that would creep you out. You know, if it was me, what I would do is not stay in the house alone. Probably go to a coffee shop, do my work there or something.
I would love for them to accuse the guy and to be completely wrong.
Oh, it's probably what it is. It's probably just some dude thinking he's being nice, but actually he's being a bit pervy and he doesn't realize it. I mean, it's also possible the other way, that he is actually just being a creepy dude. But I think it's funnier to think that he's just trying to be nice and it's just coming across like probably him taking the wrong tablets and having a Viagra erection for 4 hours each day is not helping the situation. But, you know, these things happen. There are vitamins that are small blue tablets as well. So maybe he got confused. So that's my excuse.
I think you just encourage the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
What does it affect you if the guy is ultimately sniffing your wife's panties?
Yeah, you know, And it appears he's only sniffing the clean ones, if that's what's happening. So
what's wrong with him?
Yeah, good question. We need to take this down the other road.
Yeah. Who sniffs clean panties?
What's that all about? Just it's like, ooh, smell of laundry detergent.
The other way around it is to buy new underwear that you don't use. So if you're going to blow a month's deposit, you may as well just spend $100 on the cheapest underwear and socks. Mm-hmm. Don't actually use them, but leave them out for this guy to have his way with.
Yeah. And then catch him in the act and put him on Pornhub.
And blackmail him and threaten to tell his wife.
Yeah, then you get to live there for free.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Problem solved.
Yeah.
So I like it. Good job.
Yeah, well, the coach of Spain has made a sex confession about the World Cup that Spain coach Luis Enrique is allowing his stars to have sex on the night before matches, but he draws the line at them participating in orgies.
I mean, I guess I would have thought he would have wanted their wives to be there, not just the players having sex with each other. But hey, it works for team bonding. That's all good.
Guys, we need to build the chemistry. So no wives, but you can have all the sex you want.
Spain now go on and win the World Cup, and everyone's like, oh, those guys are having sex the night before. That's one way of making it work, I guess.
It's how to be an elite team.
Yeah. Yeah,
people spend all this money in businesses to go learn team bonding and whatever, when ultimately just fuck each other.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's as good a plan as any. Those guys are going to be tight together. They're gonna
know each other's ins and outs.
Yeah, they're gonna just do whatever it takes. So I feel like good luck to them. Although, I mean, I wasn't aware that there was a difference in them having just having sex and then having orgies. I mean, obviously I know the difference, but in performance in a sports field the next day, I didn't realize there had been a study that proved there was a difference in the effect.
We need to take 100 elite athletes, have 50 have sex regularly and 50 have an orgy, and study their performance.
See who wins. Yeah, has better performances in the next game. I think that's a scientific research area I would get into and be excited about.
I want to write my thesis on the impact of orgies before professional athletic events.
The reason for this is because Luis Enrique, the Spain coach, said that he draws the line at orgies. So there's sporting integrity at play here. We need to figure this one out for the sports elite. Yeah, well, it's an interesting take. Personally, if I was playing for Spain at the World Cup, I'd be like disappointed that orgies were off the table. Could only be had on the floor, on the bed, on the couches, just not on the table.
Yeah, well, it does get a little bit weirder because. Well, he said that I consider sex important as a player. Whenever I could with my wife, I did what we had to do. His daughter, though, is dating star forward Ferran Torres. So it's a little bit weirder when
Yes, it is. So.
Look, I need you all to be having gay orgies, especially you.
You particularly are not allowed to have the norm, the straight kind of sex or orgies. You were in the gay orgies only. Yeah.
And I will be observing all gay orgies and critiquing performance the night before.
I mean, it will be interesting now to see how Spain do in the World Cup if they win the whole thing. There's going to be some serious questions on this podcast. Uh, oh, good times.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, it's how you succeed. If
I
you
think so.
want your son-in-law to be a better soccer player, you ban him from having orgies.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
I think every family needs to be having the no orgy conversation.
Except for the one family who'll be like, so, orgies.
Thanksgiving has passed, but I think that next year on Thanksgiving, families should be sitting down and listen, I know your accounting job's tough, and that's why you can't be having orgies before the night before a tough balancing of the books.
But think of the performance levels that would increase if you were having the orgies.
Listen, you can blow out my daughter however you want, but no orgies.
Well, that was a weird conversation. Thanks, Lewis.
It would be even better if he was like, look, regular sex, that's going to destroy your performance. But anal, that's where it's at. So I need you to be destroying my daughter's asshole the night before every game.
Oh, man, that's not a conversation you want to have twice.
I know.
The next
It's hard
morning,
to jerk off the second time.
well, why is she walking normally today? I told you what to do.
I saw my daughter today. She walked on. Did I not tell you to destroy her asshole before every game? It's scientifically proven. This guy Dave did a thesis on it.
Oh well, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I apologize to the entire Spanish team for my thesis that's coming out in the next 6 months.
The impact of sodomy on sports performance. I personally,
Somebody's got to do it.
I tracked myself on athletic performance. 1 week having regular sex the night before. The next week I had anal sex, and I can tell you that my performance jumped by 10% the week after.
It did.
Therefore, I can scientifically say that anal sex.
It would be so interesting if that was a thing that they discovered, improved sporting performance. Oh my God, that would just be incredible. Anyways, now we know why Michael Jordan was at the top of the game all the time.
Yeah. He was deep in the anal the night before a big game.
They didn't put that in the
or for the coach, he's like, look, a good pegging is what you need to perform better. So I bought
everybody line up for the
nice
pegging.
Strap on for you.
It's for the good of the game, boy.
The people of Spain need you to take this strap on.
I feel like we've violated so many codes of conduct in this conversation.
As the coach of Spain, it is my duty to ensure that this strap on is properly inserted into your anus by my daughter.
Yep. Just gonna never be allowed in Spain again. So.
Oh well. They actually have a game on tonight, so
yeah. Now I'm just going to be thinking about what they were up to last night.
Or this morning.
Yeah. Maybe that game day works as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Who says that a good pegging doesn't help your performance on a game day?
I actually don't think that's ever been said that it doesn't. So that's a good point. Good point.
Show me where in science it's been proven that pegging doesn't improve game day performance.
It's quite a theory.
I personally pegged 300 professional athletes to check their performance.
Oh man.
Perfect thesis.
Absolutely. I can't wait for the professor who has to read it.
The best would be the contacting professional sports teams to ask for. I am a postgraduate student at Harvard, and I've decided to focus my thesis on the impact of pegging on game day performance by professional athletes. And so, therefore, I'm going to need the whole Manchester United team to take pegging.
The interesting thing is you'd get a response back from somebody pretending they don't know what that is. Let me send you some videos. Yeah. Wow.
Or you get a response that, finally, I've been waiting for someone to do this, to show it to my wife.
Yeah, somebody needed to do it eventually, so here we are.
Yeah. Well, technology's come a long way, and most people don't really use alarms anymore because we have it in our phones or in our watches or whatever.
Sure.
But do you remember when people had to use other devices?
I mean, yeah, you know.
What's the weirdest one you've heard of?
Sorry, say that again.
What is the weirdest device you've heard someone use for alarm?
I mean, not really any weird ones, to be honest. I guess, yeah, just alarm clocks or something like that. Yeah, that's all I can think of.
Well, what if your neighbor used their car alarm?
How would you use a car alarm to?
Well, it says neighbor across the street uses car alarm as an actual alarm. For a long time now, around the same time, my neighbor's car alarm goes off around the same time, Monday through Friday. I was talking with the neighbor directly next to them as they are across the street from me, and said it has to be on purpose. My next door neighbor has been there for over 50 years and knows the neighborhood pretty well. And she told me that the car alarm is a literal alarm, like an alarm clock.
All right. Good way to get your house burnt down, but you know,
it helps you fit into the neighborhood.
I feel like I don't want to wake up at the same time as my neighbors, or they don't want to wake up at the same time as me. So, you know, that's not cool. So anyway,
I reckon a good pegging is a good alarm.
Yeah, I feel like you have an agenda today. I don't know what's going on.
Pegging and a nice warm non-alcoholic beer in bed. Jeez. Nothing gets you going.
It's just so offensive. Not the pegging, the warm beer. Yeah.
Non-alcoholic.
Yeah, what the hell?
With some ice in it. You got to put some ice in it.
Just get out. Just if you come to my house and you put ice in your beer, I'm kicking you out. That's all. So. Oh well.
Nice icy cold non-alcoholic beer. And a cider apple.
Oh, of course, can't be without it.
Well, this is a more common thing that's happening now, since that everyone wants to work from home, and like that's part of like job applications and whatever.
Yeah.
One company had a job where during the thing they told all the staff they could work from home 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you need to work there every day once you join.
Yep. Yep. That's I've heard many stories about that. But surely if they hire you and like your contract would include like you work from home 3 days or whatever, so you got.
See, the thing is that a lot of places are dodgy with. Oh, we don't put in there that it has that, but the company rule currently is that And then it's like, oh no, actually we changed that.
Yeah. Working from home is great. And I understand why so many people want to do it. But I worked for quite a large company who make iPhones. I mean, who make smart devices.
Pegging devices.
Yeah. And it was quite clear at one point the company policy was like, let's not have any more work from home people. And they made it so that people would want to go to the office rather than work from home. It's like you were less likely to be promoted if you worked from home. To the point, actually, not less likely. You were prevented from. There was no movement beyond a certain point if you worked from home. And what else did they do? It was just all kinds of like stuff.
I've also heard of that, which is also blatantly illegal. Like,
yeah, it is, and you know. It was so clear what they were doing. They were like trying to get people to either leave or move so they could go to the head office that they paid a couple of billion to build or whatever it was. So
free peggings on Fridays in the office.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlimited warm beer.
They probably would. They would probably freak out if you brought in your normal beer. Yeah. So anyway, I know a lot of people in that situation were like, well, fuck this, I'll go join a different company, and I was one of them. So yeah, I think companies though got a little bit of a shock when they realized nobody wants to go to your shitty offices and deal with your shitty policies, especially multinational companies who are full of shit most of the time.
Yeah, big companies tend to be dishonest, openly dishonest.
It's like, but hey, we put up this nice poster that says we respect our staff, so you know, we kind of do.
I mean, we talk about how we do whatever, and then meanwhile they don't do any of it.
True.
Or perhaps they sell that and then don't. Like literally don't do what they sell. Not that I've ever had any experience in that kind of thing.
I will not comment on that because of my NDA.
I could not comment on any NDAs or similar documents that I'd never signed.
Exactly. But like, you know, maybe we can have a conversation in like 4 months, 3 minutes.
Yeah. Or in some cases we can never have conversations about.
Yeah, that's also true.
Unless people die.
Which
we could talk more openly if someone died.
Wait, and we're just waiting for that episode of the podcast. Hey, someone died, so we can talk about this.
Yeah. My God, the things we could talk about.
That episode will be on fire.
People openly lying about what country they're in, so that because they're actually fearful of their lives. So I've heard of other people.
Allegedly.
No, I mean hypothetically.
Hypothetically, even better. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yes, the workplace is great. Great.
Sometimes, if you work in a strip club. But
well, even then, I think that's probably worse.
I mean, listen, stop. It's just like, what I mean is if you bring your work from home job to the strip club. Okay, just a second on this video chat. I just got to pay attention. Diamond is on the stage.
That would be fun to get like jobs, like work from home jobs, and deliberately like in meetings accidentally reveal that like you have another computer open or something, or another window that's your dodgy chats.
I mean,
that's my dominatrix, and I have to check in every hour to make sure.
I have seen stuff like that happen accidentally, and let me tell you, it's always fun for everyone involved.
I need to prove to my dominatrix that my dildo is still in place. So hang on a minute.
Not quite on that level. I was working again for a large multinational. We were in a Zoom meeting kind of thing with the entire, like, not just our little team, but like the entire organization of teams within our area. And everyone was on Zoom, and one of the guys on my team, very smart fella, was playing Call of Duty on Xbox, and he was live streaming on YouTube or something at the same time. And he forgot to turn off his mic because he didn't have to be on camera for this meeting because there was like 400 people in it. But he forgot to turn off his mic, and everyone was listening to him like, fucking asshole just blew me up. I can't fucking believe it. I was behind the van and he just fucking bombed me or whatever. I was like, dude, like, and everyone was like texting him, dude, we can fucking hear you dumbass. So that kind of thing, that's acceptable too, like being a Twitch gamer person while in a company meeting. That's fine.
Yes. It should be promoted more.
But anyway, not saying work from home is not the most valuable thing a company can do for an employee. But yeah, good times happen all.
Yeah, I mean, working in an office sucks. So
yeah, it does.
And I mean, yeah, you have to hide your non-alcoholic beers or pretend you're
to pretend you're interested in other people.
Yeah. Well, that is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Pretending you're interested in other people, or that you respect someone, or that people dress well when they go on about it all the time when they don't.
Exactly.
Or that you give a shit about people.
That's the hardest part for me. How was your weekend? Like, I give a shit. Yeah.
How amazing. Congrats on your weekend. How many non-alcoholic beverages did you consume on your weekend? Well, I mean, the hardest part is that you actually have to deal with the people that would drink a non-alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, true.
The kind of person who would buy non-alcoholic beer, and you have to treat them as if they're a regular human.
It's difficult living in situations like that, having to spend so much time with those people.
How are you supposed to relate when you're talking about spending the weekend in mixed nuts? They're discussing their non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah, it's a whole different vibe. Let's just put it that way.
Or the random YouTube rabbit holes of title suggestions.
What'd you do with your weekend? Well, I was studying the effects of pegging on professional sports and working on my thesis. How about you? I was drinking non-alcoholic beer all week. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah.
I was pegging professional athletes for
science. For science. Not because I enjoyed it, for science.
Yeah. The fact that I enjoyed it is just a bonus.
I'm working on getting my PhD. Pretty hard. Anyway.
Pretty hard strap on.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. Well, yes, that is the world this week.
And it's getting more and more it's just ridiculous. But anyway, but that's what we're here for, to check it out and see how cool it is.
Delve into the news of the pegging.
Certainly. So how's this going to work with your hotel in Turkey? You, having a nice trip to Turkey coming up, or
well, as you can see, I'm in Turkey. Surprisingly, looks exactly like my house, and I've never been to Turkey. Haven't booked anything any flights to Turkey, but yeah,
I mean, that's service for you, making it look exactly like your house.
The ridiculous thing though is that so earlier in the day there was something booked for in California with no price, and I got nothing, no notification. Yet out of nowhere, I get this notification that I spent 1,300, and then looked up where it was, and it says a hotel in Turkey. And then, but meanwhile, when I actually want to buy stuff, I have to jump through 100 hoops to prove that it's actually me. And if I'm overseas, it gets blocked and whatever. But somehow, if it's not me, I can easily go spend $1,300 in Turkey without getting verifications from my phone or anything.
Yep.
And half the time when I get the verifications, they still reject the thing. And even though I enter the thing and everything, and it still rejects the charge, but some random can go use my card in both California and Turkey in the same day and have no issues.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a recent issue on my credit card. It wouldn't work whenever I tried to use it. I was like it was blocked. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I went to use it a couple of weeks ago, and I called up the bank. I was like, well, why? And they were like, oh yeah, there's a hold on your card because of some suspicious activities. I was like, could you have told me that my card had a hold on it? Is that like a thing? You have my contact details. And they were like, oh, well, so I ended up having to send me a new card, but they did.
You bought a non-alcoholic beer, and
yeah, they're like, that's not me. But they did this.
You bought a cold beer with alcohol in it, and we're like, that's not Dave.
No way. But no, I think it was last year. There was a problem with one of my cards, and whoever had my card details had gotten it onto their Apple Pay on their iPhone. And so my bank just kept replacing the card, being like, oh, I'll replace the card. But when your card is on Apple Pay, and the card is replaced, it automatically updates to the new one. So whenever the bank would replace my card, they'd automatically give the card to the scammers on their Apple. And I had to keep telling them, you have to take that off. You have to like disable Apple Pay from that account. And they just kept replacing the card. It was like six new cards before they realized. And I had this woman on the phone. She was like, "Oh, yeah, you have to call Apple to do that." I was like, "Dude, I work for Apple. That's not the case. You have to do it. You're the bank." She's like, "No, I don't think that's right." I'm like, "I fucking know it's right." So anyway, after it took about 3 weeks, and they eventually got it sorted out. And I was like, couldn't use my credit card at the time. Not that I was planning to, but if I had. But I kept getting these notifications. Someone's trying to spend $1,600 in Nike Town, New York. Like, I'm not in Nike Town, New York, so it's not me. Thanks.
I'm an Adidas.
I only wear Pumas. Sorry. But anyway, yeah.
I will not be seen outside of Balenciaga. So,
Exactly. Anyway, man, hopefully they sort it out for you soon enough and are smarter about it than my bank. So,
well, they've cancelled it and sending out a new one and disputing the thing. So they did go through some rigmarole that like the hotel or the merchant, as they say, could dispute my dispute and challenge it, which would be fun.
I am not in Turkey.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. And also, it does seem like a shitty thing to use it for, because if you are staying in a hotel in Turkey, it should be obvious who you are. So therefore, like if you're going to use a stolen credit card, you would think you would buy like gift cards or some random thing, right? That even shoes, like, because once you bought it, you're gone. Whereas a $1,300 hotel stay, unless you stay there the one night and that was it, I guess. But like, even if you're there 2 days, by the time the charge goes through and everything, I've canceled it, reported it stolen. So therefore they know person in this room is using a stolen credit card. Like, it should be very easy to track them down.
You would think so. Yeah, exactly. So.
But no, any legitimate cost you want to pay, we're going to make you jump through hoops and verify it's you and then reject it.
Yeah.
Some
exactly.
random who's not you in Turkey doesn't have to get a verification. And we're not even going to reject it without the verification, even though we reject your legitimate purchases with the verification when it's you who also can open the app and see the verification at the exact same time. So,
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense somehow. To someone.
And also when you've notified them that you're traveling and what country you'll be in, so therefore they should expect a particular charge, that will get rejected. But Turkey, it's just, yeah, you've never been to Turkey, but we're going to allow it.
It seems reasonable enough. I don't know. Personal finances are tricky, you know. Hey, that's not me. Well, tough. And then, hey, this is me. I verified it's me. No, not happening. So, yeah, good stuff, banks. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so stupid.
It is.
We had a work payment at one point where we had to do it like every quarter, every like 3-4 months, and they would every time the bank even said, yeah, no, you're just gonna have to call us each time because we will just reject it as suspicious, even though you've told us it's not, and you've told us that this happens every quarter. It's still going to get rejected. So,
Jesus, yeah. This is why everyone loves the banks. They're good at shit.
Yeah. Heroes.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Well, I got to go see if my 180 something thousand bet for Japan against Costa Rica played out. So don't spoil it for me.
Yeah, well, I got my hotel in Turkey to check in. So
it's true. All right, man. Well, until next week, have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.